In the mind of a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, bedtime monsters are a very real and present danger. And it just so happens that the best way to ward off scary shadows at bedtime is with a nightlight. So let's fight off some monsters, shall we? See, because of the double meaning, nightlights fight off bedtime monsters. In the Legend of Zelda, you fight monsters. It's the double. Never mind. To make this nightlight, the first thing I needed was a box. I went to makercase.com, put in the sizes that I wanted for the box, about 5 inches all around, selected finger joints, upped the scale of the joints, and then exported the plans into Inkscape. I went and I found some pictures that I wanted to cut out on each of the panels of the nightlights, and I brought them into Inkscape and turned them into traceable bitmaps. I made each of the pictures half an inch smaller than the sides of the box and then arranged each of the pictures to the center of each panel. I made sure to remove the fill and then I set the stroke style. That doesn't sound right. I set the stroke width to 0.001 inches so the laser cutter would see it as a vector and not a raster. Then I got a piece of 1/8 inch plywood, took my template to Fab Lab, and cut it out on a laser cutter. So here is the box. And after printing this out, I realized a couple things. One, I don't like the plywood look as much as I thought it would. I like it for some of the other things that I've built before, but this, I'm not in love with it. So I think I'm gonna try a different kind of wood. And the second is that I think this is just a little too big. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna scale it down and see what it looks like smaller. Of course, I also misplaced one of the panels, but we're not gonna talk about that. I went and I picked up a couple 1/4 inch oak pieces. I changed the template to fit the new piece of oak, and then went back to Fab Lab to cut it out. I didn't think I would like the 1/4 inch boards over the 1/8 inch boards, but I have to admit that I like it a lot better than I thought it would. It was here that I also cut out a smaller box out of acrylic to fit inside the oak box. It's a box in a box! You know, because I really like to challenge myself with these projects that I make. This would serve as a diffusion for the LEDs inside and to have something to glue the smaller pieces of the designs to. After going through and removing all of the pieces from the designs that are meant to let the light through, I glued all but the bottom piece of the box together, and I did the same for the inner box. I sanded down the outer box to clean up the burn lines from the laser cutter and to even everything out. To help diffuse the light, I took some sandpaper and I sanded both sides of the acrylic, testing it along the way until I got the right kind of diffusion that I wanted. I glued the acrylic box into the wood box, and then started adding all of the small details back into each of the panels. I ordered some batteries, a USB charging board, and an on-off switch, and a strip of LEDs. I then took these and started to put them all together. I cut the LED strip down to the size I needed, and then clipped off the plug at the end of the battery and the USB plug for the LED strip, and soldered the battery and the LED strip to the circuit board, making sure to add the on-off switch between the circuit board and the LED strip. And after trying it, it turned on. This was a first for me, soldering something like this together, and it's pretty exciting when it actually works. I stuck the LED strip to the inside edges of the acrylic box, fit everything inside, and then closed up the box. I added feet to the bottom of the box and then added some oil to give that last finishing touch to the nightlight. And it was done. Later, I want to go back and carve out an area for the USB charging port and for the on-off switch to set outside of the box, but for the time being, I can just pop off the bottom whenever I need to recharge the nightlight. I want to take a quick second to thank my patrons. You help make these videos possible, so thank you for your support. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video.